Hello and welcome to How to Draw a Cartoon Kitten Using Reference, Part 4. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about how to finish up a drawing. Up to this point, we've talked about simplifying everything that you draw, and then adding cartoony principles, and then adding solidity to your drawing. And today we're going to be finishing up the drawing to a certain extent. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years. Today, we're adding one more thing to our list here when we're going to be talking about fur. So, when it comes to fur, it's best to imply the fur. Don't draw all of it. Design the fur by experimenting to see what looks best for you. Look at other people's drawings of fur, see what you like about what they do, and copy it. So speaking of looking at other people's drawings of fur, we also, if you don't have a specific idea in mind as to how you're going to tackle the finished product, and in this case, I have this kitten here, and I really don't quite know exactly how I'm going to finish it off and what I'm going to do with it. So I decided to look at other people's solutions to drawing kittens. Also, as I said, I'm going to look at other people's drawings of fur just to see what their solutions were to this fur problem. Because the one thing that you absolutely do not want to do when drawing fur like this is draw every little strand of fur. And you don't do that when you're drawing hair either. That is actually a very beginner level notion. I've noticed that a lot of people who are beginning to draw, they tend to draw every strand of hair. They think that they get this like weird spaghetti, I don't know what it is, but it looks really weird where they're just drawing the 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 hair like this, and they just the hair, and this is hair. And I mean, logically, yes, hair is a bunch of little strands, right? But that's not really how you draw hair, and that's really also not the way you draw fur. So um, let's take a look at other people's solutions to drawing fur and other people's solutions to drawing kittens. Okay, so here we got a cute kitten cartoon, and this could be one of our inspirations. This is very, very designy. I like the eyes. Look at the way that they did the fur here. That's it. That's the fur. There isn't a whole lot of any indication other than that. Um, let's take a look at Claire Wendling. Claire Wendling is one of my all-time favorite artists ever, and she loves to draw cats, and she draws amazing cats. And so you see this cat here. Um, Not a lot of fur. Not a lot. You see how she's kind of uh, this is maybe the pattern of the cat here, or it could just be a defining the roundness of the neck. This is actually not fur. This is a shadow. And then this is also uh, could be considered fur, but it's more like a shadow and an indication of form that just kind of tapers off here. This here, this area here, that is absolutely fur. This is the only indication of fur in the entire drawing. Same here. This could be considered fur, but it also defines a tone. This could be fur, but it also defines a tone. This is tone. This is tone. This is fur. So it's kind of squiggly, and it implies. But back here, there's no fur. Back here, there's a little bump here indicating fur. So fur here, this is fur here, but it also defines the leg. And this is tone, not fur. So as you can see, this one, see, okay, so this is the most fur that she's drawn. So here, this is actually tone in the shape of fur. This is fur. This is tone in the shape of fur. It does both things here. This here is fur, just lines here. Lines here. This is actually defining the stomach and the bones here by these lines here that just indicate not only the plane, define the plane of the stomach and the planes of this bone muscle connection here, but it also is done in such a way that it also implies fur. Here's some other Claire Wendling drawings. These are a little bit more refined. Again, these lines here are actually explaining the muscle, what the bone muscle connections here that are going on. It actually is explaining it. It's clarifying it. It's adding a tone, and because of the way it's done, it kind of looks furry. So I think my point is here that the fur is just kind of explained a little bit, like you've got a little bit, but it's not like everything. Like you still have a whole entire areas of nothing, and all this cross hatching and stuff that is both defining and toning the fur. This one has almost no fur at all, or indications of fur. You could argue that this is fur, but it's also, again, shading of sorts. It's cross hatching in a fur type way so that it feels like the cat's fluffy. Let's take a look at other cats here. So here we have another kitty cat, and it's very cartoony. This is a little bit more in the direction that we want to go. And notice that the fur here is just that's it, and here. And then there's color here that kind of implies the fur. And here's another kitten. This is now much more painterly, but the fur is actually implied in the brushes that they were used. They were using these kind of white brushes. I think this is a digital color, and with digital you can do tricks that'll let you kind of imply fur more than anything else. Okay, so these are good reference to maybe as the direction that we want to take our cartoony cats. Look at their eyes, this eyes. Okay, so let's start tackling ours. Okay, so let's see what we can do with our final drawing of this cat, of this little kitten. Now I'm going to attempt to make this a little bit more cartoony, similar to one of the references that I've got that I saw on the internet. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to just speed this up. Okay, so you're going to notice that I'm going to be drawing this stuff very, very loose and rough. Now the idea here is to imply the fur, like before. Like I said, we're not really defining. But the thing about with this final line that is really, really important is that less is more. What you want is to not get too detailed. The less detailed, the better. You want to know what's underneath and all that structure and construction, but what you don't want to do is draw all that construction, so that way when you turn it all off, there is absolutely very little of that construction left. You know it's there, but you only imply that it's there. Now here I am trying to draw the patterns on the face, and trying to see if I can't make a pattern. See, I made the legs a little bit fatter. Try to make it even fluffier than my construction. So yeah, that's just softening the ears, that sort of thing. Just try to make it as round and as soft as I possibly can. Okay, and I think that's it. Uh, that ought to do it. I'm kind of iffy about putting too much detail on him. I'm not exactly sure how much detail I want to put in if he gets colored. See what I'm saying? Like she's got these patterns. I don't even know if I'm doing a good thing by adding the patterns here. It looks okay, but definitely the kitten has got a lot of patterns going on here, and I'm just kind of indicating a rough kind of dark patch of stuff that's happening here. Ooh, I don't like that at all. So I'll leave that blank. Yeah, so this is the little kitten. This is what we've got. And at this point, this line drawing is still rough, but at this point you can probably, do a final ink line on it. But now we've got generally a final version of the kitten. So let's really quickly recap what we've done so far. The first thing you want to do is simplify the drawing so that you can have a graphic version of your drawing like this. And then after you've simplified your drawing, you can then start messing with the design elements, really pushing the elements around to make it more cartoony as experimentation, that sort of thing. After that, you go in and you start solidifying the drawing. So you go in and you start constructing the drawing so that you can have a better understanding of what you are drawing, and then finally you do the final drawing. And the final drawing being you take all the elements and you draw on top of them, and you pick and choose how much detail you're actually going to have, and especially in cute characters, less is more. You don't want to overburden and overdefine things. You want to imply things, especially fur. You just kind of want to imply that there's fur, stuff like that. So try to keep it fluffy. Don't even though I was using this construction, I didn't draw every single thing. I deliberately only picked and chose pieces that would define what I'm trying to do without overwhelming the drawing. Less is more, like I said, when doing something cute or pretty or whatever. You could even less is more. Let's see what happens if I do that. See, so like even less than that is even better. I think it looks okay. It just makes him that much fluffier. Okay, so I hope you got a lot out of this, and I hope it was very helpful. If you enjoy this video, I highly encourage you become a patron. For $1 a month, you actually get these videos ahead of everybody else. Sometimes even months ahead of everybody else. Also, if you have a question for me, patrons get first dibs on the answers. So if you have a question, if you're not a patron, I will answer your questions as well. But If a patron asks me a question after, say, somebody who is not a patron asks me a question, I will answer their question before via video before I answer anybody who's not a patron, as a thank you from me to you for your patronage. There's also other levels in the Patreon tiers that you may want to take a look at, but for $1 a month, you get automatic access to all the videos before they even appear. Okay, so thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. All right, and bye.